At 61, Melissa Gilbert finally tells the truth about Patty Duke. Melissa Gilbert was born Melissa Ellen Gilbert on May 8, 1964 in Los Angeles, California. She was adopted as a baby by actor and comedian Paul Gilbert and his wife Barbara Crane. From the very start, Melissa was surrounded by the world of entertainment. Growing up in Hollywood gave her many chances to build her skills, and she quickly fell in love with acting. Even though she started young in an industry known for being tough, Melissa showed great strength and determination. She made a place for herself not just as a child star, but later as a respected actress, director, author, and supporter of important causes. Melissa's big break happened when she was just 9 years old. She got the famous role of Laura Ingalls Wilder on the popular TV show Little House on the Prairie, which ran from 1974 to 1983. The show was based on the well-loved books by Laura Ingalls Wilder. It became a huge hit and celebrated the American pioneer spirit while also exploring deep topics like family, faith, hard times, and never giving up. Melissa played the character called Half Pint, which was the loving nickname given to her by Michael Landon's character Charles. Her performance touched millions of viewers all over the world. Her natural charm, emotional honesty, and realness made Laura a character that people of all ages could relate to. Every week, Melissa brought innocence, strength, and warmth to the role. This helped make the show one of the most lasting family dramas ever. But Melissa's life was about more than just her years on Little House. When the show ended, she kept building a strong career in TV and movies. She starred in many made-for-TV movies, including powerful emotional roles in projects like Choices of the Heart in 1983, where she played missionary Jean Donovan. She also starred in The Miracle Worker in 1979, where she played Helen Keller opposite Patty Duke, who played Anne Sullivan. These performances showed she could take on tough dramatic roles that needed maturity and emotional depth far beyond her age. As an adult actress, Melissa also appeared in shows like Stand By Your Man, Sweet Justice, and guest roles on different TV programs. This proved she could adapt and stay relevant in a very competitive industry. Beyond her acting, Melissa Gilbert became a strong voice in Hollywood leadership. From 2001 to 2005, she was president of the Screen Actors Guild, which is called SAG. She represented the interests of thousands of actors all across the United States. During her time as president, she was known for working hard to fight for fair contracts, healthcare benefits, and protections for performers dealing with a constantly changing entertainment world. This part of her career showed that Melissa was not just a talented actress, but also a strong leader who was not afraid to speak up and fight for the rights of other actors. From 2008 to 2009, Gilbert was seen as Caroline Ma in the musical version of Little House on the Prairie, directed by Francesca Zambellu. The world premiere happened at the Guthrie Theater in Minneapolis. The show went on a U.S. national tour that started in 2009 and finally ended at Starlight Theater in Kansas City, Missouri in June 2010. Melissa also tried writing and wrote several books that gave fans a close look at her journey. Her memoir called Prairie Tale, published in 2009, honestly talked about her experiences growing up in Hollywood, the pressures of being a child star, her battles with addiction, and her journey toward recovery and healing. She also wrote My Prairie Cookbook in 2014, which mixed family recipes with behind-the-scenes stories from her Little House years. It was a perfect gift for her devoted fans. Her openness in talking about personal struggles made her relatable and inspiring. It showed that even people who seem to live perfect lives in the spotlight face their own problems. Melissa Gilbert's personal life has been as exciting and interesting as her work life, especially when it comes to her relationships and marriages. In 1988, she married actor Bo Brinkman, who was known at that time for his work in movies and TV. He was also connected to the famous Sheen Estevez acting family through his cousin, Martin Sheen. Their Marriage was full of passion and creativity since both of them were actively working in the entertainment industry during those years. The couple had a son, named Dakota Paul Brinkman in 1989. This made Gilbert a mother for the first time and brought new joy and responsibility to her life. However, even though they tried hard to keep their relationship strong, it was filled with challenges. After 6 years of marriage, they decided to separate. Their divorce in 1994 ended a chapter that had been both rewarding and difficult. It taught Gilbert important lessons about love, family, and personal growth. Just a year after her first marriage ended, Gilbert fell in love again with actor Bruce Boxleitner. He was a well-known TV and movie star best known for his roles in Scarecrow and Mrs. King in the Tron movies. The two had actually met years earlier when Gilbert's former co-star, Michael Landon Jr., introduced them. After they reconnected, they started a romance that quickly grew strong. They got married in 1995 in a ceremony that mixed Hollywood glamour with real emotion. Together they raised a blended family. Gilbert became stepmother to Boxleitner's 2 sons from his previous marriage. In 1995, the couple had a son of their own named Michael Garrett Boxleitner. He was named in honor of Gilbert's late mentor and Little House on the Prairie father figure, Michael Landon. Their marriage lasted for over 16 years, making it Gilbert's longest relationship up to that point. During those years, the couple dealt with the normal ups and downs of a Hollywood partnership. They balanced the pressures of acting careers, raising children, and public life. Even though they had a shared history and family ties, Gilbert and Boxleitner decided to divorce in 2011. This marked the end of another important time in her life. After taking time to focus on herself and her children, Gilbert found love again. This time it was with actor and director Timothy Busfield, who was best known for his roles in 30-some, The West Wing, and Field of Dreams. In January 2013, her representative confirmed they were engaged. Fans who admired both stars for their long careers in TV and movies greeted this news with warm enthusiasm. Their relationship moved quickly since the two shared not only personal chemistry but also similar values based on family, creativity, and a love of a simpler life. On April 24, 2013, they got married in a quiet but romantic ceremony in Santa Barbara, California. This represented a fresh new start for Gilbert, who often called Busfield her true partner and soulmate. After their wedding, the couple chose to step away from the typical Hollywood lifestyle. They settled in the small town of Howell, Michigan from 2013 to 2018. There they lived a quieter, more grounded life, far away from the glitz and chaos of Los Angeles. Gilbert became very involved in local life, connecting with the community. She even found joy in fixing up and restoring an old Victorian house, which she often called a labor of love and a way to express her new chapter. During these years, she also focused more on writing, political activism, and her health. She was looking for peace and balance after decades in the spotlight. By late 2018, Gilbert and Busfield decided to move again, this time to New York City. The move represented another new phase in their lives as they went from the calm of small-town Michigan to the lively cultural center of Manhattan. In New York, Gilbert found herself surrounded by art, theater, and opportunities that kept inspiring her both, professionally and personally. The move also let her be closer to her extended family and reconnect with the fast-paced creative energy that had been a big part of her earlier life. With Busfield by her side, Gilbert entered this stage of her journey with new purpose. She showed resilience, the ability to adapt, and a commitment to embracing love and life in all its forms. At 61 years old, Melissa Gilbert, the beloved actress best known for her role as Laura Ingalls Wilder on the famous TV show Little House on the Prairie, finally opened up about her complicated and very personal connection with another Hollywood legend, Patty Duke. For decades, Gilbert had stayed fairly private about certain parts of her life. She carefully chose when and how she would share personal truths. But now, with age and wisdom on her side, she decided it was time to share her thoughts honestly and without holding back. Her words, marked with the realness of lived experience, carried not only admiration for Duke's amazing talent, but also thoughts on the darker realities of show business. They also showed the deep impact that Duke's struggles had on her own view of life in the spotlight. Melissa Gilbert's comments, delivered in her typical straightforward but heartfelt way, often started with a sense of respect. Patty Duke was one of the most fearless actresses I've ever seen, she said. She had this amazing ability to bring a character to life in a way that made you feel like you weren't watching a performance. You were watching someone's soul being shown right in front of you. For Gilbert, who had grown up in the entertainment industry from the young age of 9, watching Duke's performances was both inspiring and intimidating. She could see in Patty Duke's work the raw honesty and openness that all true actors tried to achieve. But beneath that brilliance, Gilbert also saw the signs of struggle that so many child stars and adult performers went through in Hollywood. This was a reality she herself had experienced. In opening up about Patty Duke, Gilbert didn't avoid talking about the hardships that Duke faced. These included her battles with mental illness, the pressures of being pushed into fame as a young girl, and the often harmful personal relationships that came with her troubled life. Gilbert said, "When I was younger, I didn't fully understand what Patty was going through. I don't think any of us kids in the industry really did. We just thought she was moody or intense, but as I got older and I lived my own ups and downs, I realized that what she went through was truly terrible." Gilbert explained that Duke's openness later in life about her struggles with bipolar disorder gave countless people, including herself, the courage to speak about their own struggles without shame. Gilbert also thought about how Patty Duke, in many ways, became a warning story for young actors like herself. "I looked at Patty's life and thought, if she can survive everything she's been through and still have the strength to stand up and speak out, then there's hope for all of us." She said that Duke's story made her more aware of the dangers of Hollywood's tough demands, especially on young women. Gilbert admitted that her own path, marked by public relationships, divorces, health challenges, and her own struggles with addiction, had been similar to some of Duke's hardships. "There were times," Gilbert said, "when I felt like I was on the same edge that Patty had lived on for years. But watching how she eventually took control of her story, gave me the courage to try and do the same for myself." What stood out most in Melissa Gilbert's memories was not just her admiration for Patty Duke's work talent, but also her understanding of Duke's personal battles. She was human, Gilbert stressed. That's something people forget when they look at stars. Patty wasn't just an actress or an icon or a tragic figure. She was a human being who wanted love, stability, and peace just like the rest of us. And she spent much of her life trying to find that. Gilbert's words had a sense of connection, as though she were speaking not only as a fellow actress but as a woman who deeply understood what it meant to deal with the difficult balance between public love and private pain. In telling her truth about Patty Duke, Melissa Gilbert gave fans and readers a rare look into the complex world of Hollywood's child stars. This is a world filled with both amazing opportunities and huge pressures. At 61, her thoughts carried the weight of looking back, compassion, and a desire to honor the memory of a woman whose life had been both bright and troubled. "If there's anything I've learned from Patty," Gilbert said in closing, "it's that our struggles don't define us. They shape us, and if we can find the courage to share them, maybe we can help someone else feel less alone." Through these honest revelations, Melissa Gilbert not only honored Patty Duke, but also reaffirmed her own journey of honesty, resilience, and growth. At an age where many people choose silence, Gilbert chose to speak, and in doing so, she reminded the world of the power that comes from telling the truth. Even when it's hard, even when it's long overdue. Melissa Gilbert's story, along with her reflections on Patty Duke, reminds us that behind every famous face is a real person with real struggles. Both women faced the harsh realities of Hollywood, but they also showed incredible strength in sharing their truths. Gilbert's decision to speak openly about Duke's impact on her life is more than just a tribute. It's a message to everyone that vulnerability is not weakness, it's courage. By breaking her silence at 61, Gilbert proved that it's never too late to honor those who shaped us and to acknowledge the lessons we've learned along the way. Her words about Patty Duke will continue to inspire those who face their own battles, reminding them that they are not alone in their struggles. If Melissa Gilbert's story touched your heart, please like this video and share it with someone who needs to hear this message today. Subscribe to our channel for more inspiring stories about Hollywood, legends, and the real lives behind the fame. Drop a comment below and let us know what you think about Melissa's reflections on Patty Duke, or share your own thoughts on how these stars have impacted your life. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss our upcoming videos. Thank you for watching. And remember, your story matters too.